You ever get accused of threatening national security because your grass was the wrong height? Yeah, that happened. Name's Lucas, and all I wanted was a quiet place in the Texas countryside so my wife, Marlene, could recover from her last round of chemo. We spent 3 decades saving up for this ranch, 50 acres of golden fields, oak trees stretching into forever, and silence so pure you could hear your thoughts settle. For 2 glorious weeks, we felt like the only souls left on earth. Marlene planted lavender. I rebuilt fences, and we watched deer gather by the pond every evening like clockwork. Then she showed up, white Range Rover, license plate HOA-1 bright magenta blazer, and a camera rig that looked like she was shooting a Netflix documentary. She stepped out like she owned the ground we stood on. Hi, I'm Chelsea Wyndham. I manage the community update for Ridgeview Meadows, just a few acres down the road. Her smile was Botox tight, but her eyes, they were scanning our place like she was appraising it, or more like looking for violations. I tried being polite. I really did. But it became clear real quick she didn't come to say hi. She came to set the tone. Chelsea wasn't just part of an HOA. She was the HOA. Queen bee, judge, jury, and executioner of community standards. You may not technically fall under our jurisdiction, she said, but neighbors have expectations, property values, aesthetics. You understand. Then she pulled out a tablet, started flipping through slides like I was at a city planning commission hearing. Color-coded graphs, charts about grass height, truck placement, even the supposed environmental impact of our livestock pond. Marlene gripped my hand. I could feel her pulse through her fingers. I took a slow breath. Ma'am, this here's private land. We're not part of your HOA. And we're in full compliance with county code. Her smile tightened like a noose. Sometimes being a good neighbor means going beyond the law. Then came the phone calls, anonymous reports, surprise inspections, a deputy sheriff in my driveway asking about unauthorized construction, while Chelsea filmed the whole thing from her luxury SUV like it was Dateline. I showed the deputy my permits, fully approved, stamped, signed. He apologized. But the damage was done. That night, Chelsea stood at the edge of our fence line, filming again, narrating like she was covering a crime scene. I heard the word, unsafe, drift through the air like smoke. Marlene couldn't sleep. Then came the yellow signs. Protect our children. Dangerous agricultural hazards ahead, planted right at the ranch entrance. We don't even have children on the property. Marlene saw the signs when we were driving back from a chemo session. She didn't say a word, just stared. Later that week, at the grocery store, Chelsea cornered her with a camera and started interrogating her, in public. While Marlene was picking apples, people pulled out their phones. She had a full-on panic attack in the produce section, collapsed next to a pile of Honeycrisps. The paramedics arrived. Chelsea filmed that too. That was my breaking point. What Chelsea didn't know was that before I became a rancher, I spent 30 years in the federal judiciary. Not a judge who bangs gavels on TV, no. I was the guy corporations feared. I knew the law. I helped write some of it. And I sure as hell knew how to build a legal case. I started documenting every step, every letter, every video, every fabricated complaint. What Chelsea thought was harassment was actually evidence. Then she slipped up, filed a false police report, said I made threats during a phone call. Problem was, at the time, she claimed that happened. I was sitting in a hospital room holding Marlene's hand. I had time-stamped security footage, parking receipts, nurse testimony, even IV drip logs. Deputy came by again, this time, looking like he'd swallowed his badge. Mr. Sorrell, we may have a problem. Mrs. Wyndham's statement doesn't hold. Game over. She tried one last trick, a restraining order, claimed I was a threat to her safety, painted herself as the victim of a neighbor's rage. She even edited video clips to make me look unstable. I didn't hire a lawyer. I walked into that courtroom with a box of evidence and a calm face. I'm not here to waste the court's time. I told the judge. I'm here to stop a campaign of systemic harassment that nearly cost my wife her life. Photos of Marlene in the ambulance. Medical records tying her health decline to stress events. Chelsea's videos, raw and unedited, showing how she'd stalked, accused, and ambushed us. The courtroom went silent. The judge turned to Chelsea, face like stone. Not only is this restraining order denied, but I'm referring this to the district attorney. That Friday, a for sale sign went up in Chelsea's yard. By Tuesday, a moving truck was packed, and that Range Rover disappeared down the road one final time. A week later, Marlene sat on our porch, wrapped in her lavender quilt, sipping sweet tea. "You think it's over?" she asked. I shrugged. For her, yeah. For the system she used, maybe not. She smiled. First real smile in weeks. Now here's the thing, neighbors should look out for each other, not try to control each other. So let me ask you, where do we draw the line between safety and tyranny, between community and control? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your take. What would you have done? And if you've ever had to face off with a power-tripping HOA, let's just say, you're not alone.